Hey plant friends, welcome back to another wonderful day. Today is harvest day. All of the hard work, it's the first harvest of the season, and I'm sitting right here next to the garlic. We're going to harvest some scapes. You can see them hung over there. I have some flowers I want to harvest, some herbs I want to harvest, and some wild strawberries. Things are just starting to ramp up now. It's getting warmer. It rained all last week, which was great for the plants. They loved it so much, and everything is popping up, including the weeds, but just doing the best I can. So I thought I'd take you along and let's harvest some wonderful plants and produce and herbs together, and flowers. All right, come on, let's go. So I thought I'd start off right here next to this garlic. And these are the scapes right here. They kind of are coming up and curling over. What it does is it is the flower of the plant, and it'll produce flower and seed if you let it. What it'll do is it'll grow up. It starts short here, curls around, and then it'll stand up straight and it will go to flower to help pollinate the plants. With the garlic, we want to harvest the bulbs. We don't want all of the energy going to the scapes to flowering because it makes the bulbs smaller. It takes the energy away from that. Ideally, when we harvest scapes, you like to get them just as they come up out of it. You can't always get there. A lot of people wait until kind of it curls around. I like to kind of do somewhere right in the middle just to get the best of both worlds because scapes are delicious. So we're going to harvest them to use. I like to make dips with it. I sometimes like to pickle the stalks right here, dry this and use it as like a garlic powder, as like a garnish. So what you can do is you can just kind of snap it off here at the base. I did read you can also pull it, but I don't know about that. Yeah, I just like to harvest, or you can get scissors and cut it. They just kind of snap off pretty easily. Whoops, I dropped it. And there it is there. That's a garlic scape. Has a mildy garlic smell to it, and that's what's wonderful about it. It's not as strong tasting as the garlics are. A lot of people dispose of this part here, but I do like to include it. I just kind of, when I make my dips, take the part that I'm not pickling, usually the tops, pulse it in a herb grinder or food processor, and then freeze it in ice cube trays. I toss it in a freezer safe container, and then just take it out in the winter and then add it to like cream cheese with some other herbs and spices, and it's so yummy, so delicious. So here we go, let's get the scapes harvested. I did want to mention too while I'm harvesting this that this is the chestnut variety. It is a hardneck variety, that's why we get the scapes off of it. I got it from Basaltic Farms online. I think they're based out of California. And so far I'm extremely happy with the quality of it. It grows wonderfully. Beautiful cloves when I planted. The seed garlic was wonderful. Here's my lily budding up, my random volunteer. Isn't that cute? I also like to take the time to thank the plant and just be present with the garlic and just be in awe of the nourishment and abundance that comes from this plant, the health benefits, how it grows. Just kind of observe and be present. Just kind of helps ground me and brings me back into the space and show appreciation for these wonderful plants. I like to do that with all of my plants. They're all here for a purpose, like we are. They're wonderful, beautiful. Treat them well and they'll treat you well. Look what we have so far just in this one little section. So it just goes half of the bed around this side, and then the other side is the soft neck variety. Look at those wonderful scapes. This was 1 pound of garlic that I grew. I'm so happy with this. I could have actually let it go a few more days and I would have gotten bigger scapes, but I'm happy to let that energy go to the garlic and just use what I have here. Side note, look at those wonderful white clovers. They're so big and beautiful. They're right next to the raised bed where I have the garlic. Garlic is heavy feeders, so I've been fertilizing them once a week. And look, the white clover is huge. I love it. The bees love it. Oh, so lovely. I am set up to prepare the scapes, cutting board, knife. I'm going to puree what I'm going to use for the ice cube trays. I love these ones. They just pop out, that I can use for dips, soups, stews, and whatnot all winter long. So let's get going with that. Getting ready to preserve the scapes. I got my favorite pickling brine going here. Just use whichever one you like. Here I have the jars. I just turned the burner on high. I'm going to get this up to a boil, let them sanitize. Next up, I am here with the beautiful Ranunculus. They are almost past their prime. Well, they're definitely past their prime. They're almost past their lifespan. But I was thinking last night, I've been so hesitant to cut these down because I've just been enjoying the landscape nature of them. I do have weeds in here, quite a bit actually, but I thought, well, I should have done this sooner, but I should have come through and harvested some of these for dried flowers. Won't they be beautiful? I'm going to try to dry them. So I'm going to get what I can. Some of them might not be good for dried flower, but I might save some of the petals for some crafts that I could do throughout the year. So let's get to harvest these Ranunculus and get what we can before I have to pull them. Here is the Ranunculus harvest. Aren't they beautiful? I know a lot of them will be used for petal drying. There's ants on it. Go on, buddy. Go on. There you go. But I wish I thought of this sooner. I'd love to see how this goes and possibly do more of this next year of the drying. The rest of them I think are too far gone to save. So I'm just going to let them do their thing, let the foliage die back, and then dig them up and save them for next year. Next up on my list, I am over here with this wild patch of daisies that I saved from the mower. I saw the leaves growing up in the grass, and so I saved this patch. And this one's been blooming for a while, so I don't know if those would be good ones to dry or the more fresh ones. The older ones passed the wiggle test, so I might grab the older ones. But just gonna get some daisies and I'll hang them up to dry. Try to get as much beautiful dried flowers this year as possible. So let's get to it. This one's a cool shape. Look at that clematis. Oh, I love that magenta color. There's another one there that's opening. So pretty. All right, I have one more patch of daisies. Ooh. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I also have some of this Meadow Hawkweed or yellow paintbrush. I'm going to try to dry some of that too because I love the vibrant yellow color. It would be a great in arrangements or crafts in the winter time. Look at that color. I love it. So I'm down in my grow room. I'm going to hang up these flowers. I'm not using the growing racks right now, as you can see. Everything's cleared off of them. So I'm just going to hang the flowers from here. It's a nice, cool, dark area, and I think they'll do great down here. Too damp down here, I can put a dehumidifier and suck out some of that moisture to help these dry the rest of the way. But I think this will be a lovely spot, away from the animals, away from direct sunlight. There is a little window there. That side of the house does not get any direct sunlight whatsoever, and it's so diffused that it's pretty dark down here. So I think this will be a wonderful spot. Going to hang the ranunculus and daisies or yellow paintbrush. I'm going to hang those, and I have some silica gel for the petals for the ranunculus that aren't ready to, well, or were past being hung. So let's get to it. All right, so what I'm going to do is show you first how I tie these up so they don't fall. I have my string. I saved the string from the tops of the chicken feed bags. I have a whole little bucket upstairs of them, and I just cut about that long, a few inches, about 4 inches or so. Then what I do with my string is I just lay it parallel like this, side by side. I don't tie a knot right here like you do a shoelace. I hold them side by side, tie an overhand knot, and then what I'll do is pull tightly. There we go, just like that. What I'll do is I'll take my flowers. I don't like to bundle too many in a row because I want to reduce risk of molding, and I just kind of keep them at different heights like this, so they're not really touching as they're drying. So I'll pull this through like a U shape around and feed one loop into the other, and then I will pull tightly. So that way, as it dries, it won't slip out. It keeps a tug on that area. So I just grabbed a whole bunch of clothespins and we'll just clip it on. I did grab a couple of buds. I don't know how they'll dry, but I thought it'd be worth a shot. I don't like to use rubber bands just because they can tend to hold moisture and greater chance of molding, which we don't want. And for the daisies, just going to, I only have 4 more strings, so I'm just going to divide it into 4 clumps for now until I can get more tied up if I need to later. But aren't they beautiful? Alright, next up I'm going to put my flower petals in this silica, just kind of like sand. It can be re-dried. This is what I use here. there. And just keep repeating that. Alright, you just want to make sure everything's covered. And there is the, well, you can't see them, but they're underneath everything, the petals. And there's the Ranunculus hanging up. I have the light on now just so I could see what I was doing. I will shut them off so they won't have light in here. Look at this rhubarb. Wow. This leaf is massive. They're so big. That's crazy. I'm going to harvest this next. I'm gonna have to get out the big guns for this. I got my laundry basket out here. I cleaned it out and I'm just going to harvest rhubarb. I don't know if it's all usable. It might be a little too stringy at this point, but I want to cut it all back and let it flush back up before it goes to seed. So I'm going to get that done now. Can you see this? Next up on my list is strawberries. They're wild strawberries. They're so sweet. I love them. They're actually really big this year. So I'm looking forward to these. I have them kind of scattered throughout my whole property. So I'm just going to go around and pick as many as I can, and I'll look how big these are. Wild strawberries. They're so sweet. Mm. There's my little strawberry harvest. Is there enough to make something with? Probably not. Is it a great little snack? Yes, definitely. I could go out there and pick this for hours. There's a whole bunch that are a lot smaller than this, but you know what? It's free, it's fun, they're yummy, great treat, and I'm just gonna keep letting them grow, and maybe one day I'll have enough wild strawberries around to make something with or can it. But yeah, side note, look at the sage is in flower. It's so ethereal. I love it. Last up on my list today, I'm going to harvest a couple handfuls of red clover to get that dried so I can make tea with it. Red clover, maybe some lemon balm, and some mint. I want to do a summer solstice tea tomorrow, so I want to get some of that to dry. Word to the wise, I planted this mint in a pot in the ground thinking I would contain it. Yeah, right. It's growing out. It's spreading. So make sure you plant your mint where it's okay to spread. Get some bed straw in there. I think what I'm going to do instead of drying this, I'm going to chop it up and make a sun tea. Get a canning jar, put this in the jar, and then stick it in the sun and let the sun infuse that summer solstice bright sun. Let that infuse. So yummy. Let's do that. So here it is. I forgot to hit record. What I did was I chopped up the lemon balm, mint, and red clover, put it in this jar with my well water I have, and I'm going to let the sun infuse it. Summer solstice tea is one of my favorite things to do for the summer solstice. Like I said, I put lemon balm, mint, red clover. I'm going to let the sun infuse it for the day. At the end of the day, I will strain it out, and tomorrow morning is actually the solstice. I will grab some fresh edible flowers, and I will adorn this wonderful tea blend with the edible flowers, add some local honey for some sweetness and ice, and enjoy it all day long. The sun's energy is strong right now. It's the longest sun day of the year. So I hope you are having a wonderful day. I am so thankful. I am so happy to be able to step out on this beautiful day and have the abundance and the harvest that I did. I'm very grateful for everything I've grown, everything that I've nurtured and nourished along the journey, and also the wild edibles and herbs and plants that are around. They all grow for a reason. They're all here. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I hope you are enjoying your garden space. I hope you're having a wonderful solstice, and I hope you take care. Be well. Bye-bye, friends.